the history of mankind rises and falls like the waves.
Famed polar explorer فريدجوف Nansen did not become a humanitarian for the recognition. He was already a household name after reaching a record northern latitude on his expedition to the North Pole in 1896. Famed polar explorer فريدجوف Nansen did not become a humanitarian to win awards, but he was the recipient of countless medals, awards and achievements during the course of his lifetime, including a Nobel Peace Prize in 1922. And famed polar explorer فريدجوف Nansen certainly did not become a humanitarian to have an award named after himself. And yet today, over 100 courageous, passionate individuals have won the UNHCR Refugee Award bearing his name. So why then did famed polar explorer فريدجوف Nansen become a humanitarian? In 1922, famine struck the Soviet Union. Millions died. Humanitarian efforts stalled, leaving millions more on the brink of starvation. Simultaneously, the newly formed League of Nations was finding its place in the world.
I would like to make a suggestion from a neutral point of view for the alleviation of this gigantic misery on purely humanitarian grounds. Yours, most respectfully, فريدجوف Nansen.
Acting as the first ever High Commissioner for Refugees, فريدجوف Nansen did, as he had done so many times before. He navigated a path. Aid was delivered at scale. Millions of lives were saved.
But why were there some who did not want to help? Ask them. In all probability, their motives were political. They epitomize sterile self-importance and the lack of will to understand people who think differently. Characteristics which now constitute the greatest danger in Europe.
New crises emerged which required new solutions. Perhaps his greatest legacy was the creation of the Nansen passport, a simple document allowing for safe passage of refugees, which saved thousands during the time period of 1921 to 1944. Almost a century later, and our world is changing. But the problems are not.
Sometimes I feel like flying, like others do, but I cannot even access a passport.
Fortunately, a 21st century Nansen passport is gaining momentum. Machine readable, equipped with biometric data, a document for the future, based on principles from the past.
They call us romantics, sentimental idealists perhaps, because we have some faith in the good which exists, because we believe that kindness achieves more than cruelty.
Famed polar explorer فريدجوف Nansen chose to become a humanitarian because he knew he could save lives. Because when faced with tragedy, there is only one choice: action or indifference. Which will you choose?